Grutter versus Bollinger. Now, the Grutter versus Bollinger cases were one of two cases, the other being Gratz versus Bollinger, based on affirmative action in University of Michigan in 2003. So Grutter, this lovely lady right here, argued that it was harder for her to get into University of Michigan because they placed favor on minorities. So Barbara is obviously a white resident, and she lives in Michigan, and so she ends up suing the University of Michigan's law school. She claimed minorities had, it was much more easier for them to get in, and the reasoning for this being is the University of Michigan wanted to create a more diverse environment. At least that's what their defense was. So Barbara Grutter ends up suing the University of Michigan Law School. Now, at the time, the president of the University of Michigan Law School was Lee Bollinger. So essentially, she ends up suing Lee Bollinger instead because he's the president. So his defense was that in the consideration of race in the admissions process is justified as it assists the school receive a diverse student body. Now, the reason this case was so controversial was it was really the first time in American history where a white woman, a white person, argued that they could not get into university because minorities were being placed in favor of them. Now, the Supreme Court was a bit controversial on this. They kind of argued that it was okay for the university to do this because there's nothing wrong with having a compelling interest in obtaining a diverse student body. This was kind of ruled by Justice O'Connor, who is the Chief Justice at the time, and they decided that affirmative action was actually to be considered okay. Then, however, it was decided it has to be more of a hidden option, and they decided that the way that the actual University of Michigan placed admissions on minorities involving points could not be allowed. However, they could do it in a more secretive kind of way, kind of how American politics works. So they could do affirmative action as long as they're not obvious about it and as long as they don't place it on their grading and admissions process.